Hey, this is George back with the New Hunter's Guide, and today I want to talk to you about beginner's firearms for deer hunting. Now, I've said it before and you'll hear me say it again. The best firearm for deer hunting to get started with is the one you already have or can easily borrow. Doesn't matter what it is, if it has sufficient power, get started with what's available to you. It's not that hard, doesn't take that much to take down a deer. If you've got something with sufficient power, use that. The second best firearm is the one that you can pick up super cheap at a gun shop or a gun show or somewhere else that has used firearms, something to get you started, get you in the woods, and then learn what features you like, what matters to you, what kind of things in a gun that you appreciate and that helps your style of hunting and where you hunt. And then you can take that gun, if you don't like it, and you might not, you could sell it or trade it back in, usually get it right back out of it what you spent on it, and then take that money and put it towards what you really want that you've learned from experience benefits you. But I know these days, there's not that many of those kind of guns that are around super cheap. So number 3 is the one that you buy on purpose. So today I'm going to jump into several different ones. It's impossible to cover every caliber and chambering. So I'm going to give a handful of examples and principles that you can apply to whatever you're going to use. So first up here, this is a bolt action 223 rifle. I actually bought this rifle years ago for varmint hunting. This particular rifle is real heavy. It's not the best deer rifle, but if this is what you had, this would do the job. The 223 is not a super big cartridge. It is not very powerful. This has about 1,200 foot-pounds of force coming out the barrel. You know, feel free to correct my terminology, but about 1,200 pounds of force is what you've got on this cartridge. This is sufficient to take a deer at about 100 yards with a good shot. I wouldn't go out and buy a rifle like this for deer hunting because it's hard to take something further. Your power diminishes really quickly. And if you have less than a good shot, you may not have enough force to make it through and do enough damage to drop the animal quickly. It's not that they won't go down. It's that you might not be able to recover them. It might take hours or even days for that animal to drop if the shot placement isn't good. So this cartridge will do the job though. 100 yards, good shot placement. This will do it. If you've got an AR-15, it's the exact same cartridge that's used in the AR-15. You just need to make sure you've got some sort of expandable projectile. Full metal jacket won't work. What I just showed you is a lead round nose. So like I said, this kind of rifle right here, this will do the job. AR-15 will do the job. If that's what you've got to get started with, go for it. Like I said, not the ideal cartridge if you're going to go out and buy something though. Right here I have, this is a Winchester 30-30. This particular one is a model 94. It's a lever action rifle. This gun is going to use the 30-30 cartridge, which is this one right here. This particular piece of ammunition is the staple of deer hunting in the United States of America. Probably more deer have been dropped with this kind of a rifle using this kind of a cartridge than anything else. A lot of people think that the 30-30 may be underpowered. I couldn't disagree more. Your typical 30-30 load is going to have about 1,800 pounds of force. Now remember, 1,800. The 223 is about 1,200. New generations of 33 ammo. This is your Hornady Lever Revolution ammo right here, 160 grain projectile. This actually has more velocity, more power, brings you up to about 2,000 foot-pounds of force. So almost, not quite double, but getting close to double what the 223 has. This cartridge in a regular barrel is rated out to 200, even 300 yards. Now, I would never shoot past 200 with it, but this cartridge is rated out to 200 yards. It is more than adequate. This particular gun right here, this is a short barrel, short ammo tube, only holds 4 rounds. This is more of a brush gun. This is the absolute best deer rifle you could ever want for 100 yards or less. Now you'll see on this one, there are iron sights on it. I was not very good with those iron sights. Didn't like them a whole lot, so I got this super cheap scope to put on it, which is not a great scope, but up to 100 yards does the job. This thing is drop deer. The first deer I shot with this rifle just dropped dead instantaneously in its tracks. Didn't walk 5 feet. Next one ran 30 yards, maybe 40 yards. Nothing has ever run far after shooting it with one of these with good shot placement or even mediocre shot placement. At less than 100 yards, more than enough power. Like I said, the staple of deer rifles. You couldn't go wrong with one of these. A lot of people say, well, 30-30 doesn't have that much range. Some people think it's not really good past 50 yards. Guys, that never was accurate. Even with the old miserable ammo of yesteryear, this was a great rifle to 100 yards. Today's more modern ammo can get you out to 200 yards with less than a 3-inch drop. All right, fantastic rifle for deer hunting. Next one on the list. This is a 308 bolt action rifle. This is I think a Savage Model 10. I bought this rifle because the 30-30, I didn't love the trigger on it, and I didn't feel confident with it shooting out real far. This rifle here uses this projectile. This is still 30 caliber. This is the same caliber as the 30-30. This bullet weighs 165 grains. The one I just showed you for the 30-30 is 160 grains. And you can get rounds for both of them that weigh the exact same. Same bullet even, almost. This one needs a little bit more taper. The other one needs a flatter nose. But same diameter, same weight projectile for this one and for the 30-30. I bought this one, though, because one, I wanted a better trigger that would help me punch out a little further. And I wanted to be able to feel that I could shoot out the 300 yards at things that were bigger than deer, even if I wanted to. And this rifle right here, this is accurate, fantastically accurate to 100, 200, even 300 yards. I've never shot it further than that, but I know it's capable of going a little bit more. Now, the thing to keep in mind, this rifle right here, with the round that I just showed you, is about 2,800 pounds of force coming out the barrel. So to recap, the 223, 1,200. The 30-30 between 1,800 and 2,000. This one about 2,800. So significantly more power than the 30-30. You don't need that extra power. You really don't for hunting deer. But like I said, I wanted something I could even take elk hunting someday in the future. Something maybe I could use if I went after bear or any larger game. So I wanted something that had a little more power, a little more range than the 30-30, and some better features. Now I want to point something out. This gun right here, the 30-30, this gun weighs about 5.5 pounds with the scope at 6.5. This gun here is closer to 8 pounds. So the 30-30 is much lighter, much easier to carry. You can take that a lot of places. You can carry that all day. It never bother you. This gun right here, though, this thing is super accurate. Now the 30-30, that's about a 3 to 5 inch group at 100 yards with the one I have. They've got some maybe a little more accurate, longer barrel, better trigger, but mine's shooting a 3 to 5 inch group at 100 yards. This shoots a 1, maybe a 2 inch group at 100 yards. So if you take that out 200-300 yards, this gun is still going to be a tight enough pattern to drop a deer easily, where the 30-30, even though the bullet will go that far, you're going to have a big spread of potential area. So this is a better rifle for longer range. But guys, I have never shot a deer further than maybe 60 yards, even with this rifle. In Pennsylvania, in the woods where I hunt, shooting further than 100 yards is super rare. I've never had a shot at that distance yet. So don't worry too much about long range type stuff. This is a great rifle. This is one of my favorite rifles. It's super accurate, but it's heavier. It's got a longer barrel. In a lot of ways, if I'm walking through the woods still hunting, the 30-30 is going to be the way to go. Now, next one on the list. This is not a rifle, this is a shotgun. This is a 12 gauge shotgun. This particular one is a Mossberg 930 semi-automatic. And I should just note, nothing on this particular episode is sponsored. None of these companies even know I exist. No one's given, paid, sent anything. These are guns that I've used or that I appreciate for their different qualities. This is your shotgun. Now, there's some places you just can't hunt with a rifle. You just can't hunt there. Certain counties, certain jurisdictions. There's certain seasons you can't hunt with a rifle. Maybe you want to hunt with a shotgun. But there's an even better reason why you might use a shotgun, and that's because it's a super all-purpose gun. You can use this gun here to hunt doves, pheasants, turkeys, ducks, geese, deer, anything pretty much. Now, this gun uses it's a slug. Huge bullet, huge round. I think it's a 400 grain slug, moving relatively slow, but super big, does an incredible amount of damage. This thing will drop anything. But your range with a shotgun is significantly reduced compared to a rifle. So with this particular gun right here, this is it doesn't have a slug barrel or a scope or anything. This is good with a slug out to maybe accurately. You know, you've got a little bead sight here. You don't have crosshairs. You don't have a good rifle sight. You don't have anything. I'm going to say 60, 70 yards. Then you start getting a lot of drop. It starts getting harder to see and aim. So this is a shorter range, but like I said, I've never shot a deer, even with the 300-yard rifle that I bought, any closer than maybe 60 or 70 yards. So this is going to work most of the time in most places. It's a great all-purpose gun. Now, people bring up buckshot, which is basically, you know, you've got a shot like these. Instead of there being one big heavy bullet, you've got, you know, 6, 8, 10, 15 smaller pellets to take out a deer. I do not recommend buckshot for the new hunter. I do not. The reason is you can't be any further away than you can to use a slug. And you're much less likely to take good shots. You're going to think, oh, I've got a spread, I've got a better chance. So you're going to take worse shots. And you have a much higher chance of getting gut shots, which are just messy, and taking unethical shots. So to me, buckshot is an advanced level tool for people who are experienced, who know what they're doing. And there's a lot of jurisdictions you can't even hunt with buckshot. So in a lot of states, you can't even use it. So I recommend a slug, does the job, amazingly powerful. Now, I just want to do just a quick comparison here with the different rounds. You can see the size difference here is significant. This one here, 1,200 foot-pounds of force. This one here, 18 to 2,000. This one here, 2,800. This one here, massive amount extra, okay? So, like I said, though, because it's such a big, it's round, it's circular, there's no rifling, you don't have anywhere near as much range. So that's the general overview. Any of these will work, but if you're going to buy something new, you want to get something that has more power than a .223. The 30-30 or bigger, you look at those numbers across different calibers, something that's above 1,500 pounds of force is going to be a good first deer cartridge. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys plan to hunt with this coming deer season? What gun do you have? What do you want to use? Or if you're looking at buying something, what are you thinking about and favoring? Love to hear from you guys. Please hit that thumbs up, like button, subscribe. All of those things helps the channel reach more people. Till next time, I really appreciate you guys. God bless you, and go get them in the woods.